Hey guys, it's Shannon. I hope you all are enjoying my 12 Days of Christmas series as much as I am. Thank you all so much for joining me and watching and commenting. I've been reading all of your comments, so thank you so much for joining me. And if you're new to the series, I will link a playlist down in the description box below where you can catch up and see all of the previous holiday DIY projects that we've created so far. So in today's DIY, I found this really adorable box of chocolates. Yes, there's actually chocolates in here. And I thought, you know, this would make a really cute wood sign. And then I thought, yeah, let's go ahead and make a wood sign with this. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this box apart and we're gonna use it to create a really cute holiday wood sign. So let's get started. And here's a look at the supplies you'll need for this project. Of course, you will need your box of chocolates. And you know, why not snack a little while you craft, right? And then the other main pieces that you're gonna need are your wood pieces. So these are 1x, and this larger one is 4x6, and the smaller one is 4x2. So this is what we're gonna be putting your sign on, and this is gonna be the stand for it, so it stands up and it's a tabletop style. And then we're also going to be using some paint for this. I'm gonna show you a new technique a friend of mine showed me, and it's a little bit faster drying, so I thought I'd bring that to you guys today. So we need Mod Podge as well, and a foam paintbrush for each one of those. You'll need your hot glue gun, some glue sticks, some sandpaper, and some paper towels. Alright, so like I said, I've already prepped my wood since it's cut down to a 4x6 size, and this is cut down to a 2x4 size. You just want to make sure that your bigger piece is a little bit bigger than the size of the box that you're going to be working on, or you could use a gift bag for this even. And then we are going to give this sort of a faux stained wood look. So I'm going to be using some acrylic paint for this technique, and instead of completely covering the wood with paint and you'll get that solid brown color, we're actually going to stain it with the acrylic paint. And the way to do that is you just wipe on your paint with your foam paintbrush lightly. You want to get full coverage so that the whole thing is covered, but then we're actually going to take a wet paper towel. This is just dampened. It's not super wet or dripping or anything. It's just damp. And then what that does is it gives us the ability to remove some of that acrylic paint and keep the paint movable without drying it out. So what we do is we just wipe off some of that paint, and it'll let some of that wood grain show through and give you that beautiful faux wood stained finish. So here's a close-up look of the wood, and you can see that it really brought out the grain in the wood when you wipe it off with the towel, and then you don't get that full coverage look that paint usually gives it. And the really great thing about this is the dry time. Acrylic paint dries really quickly, whereas if you use a wood stain, I would be letting this sit overnight before I could craft on it. So that's a great thing about acrylic paint and this technique. And now I'm going to use some black acrylic paint and just sort of give the edges some detail and give it a more rustic look with my foam paintbrush. Alright, so now let's work on the box. All you have to do is take the plastic piece that helped keep the chocolate in off, and then you're ready to go. Once your wood is dry, then you can Mod Podge. So we're going to take our Mod Podge, apply it a thin coat with our foam paintbrush, lay the wood sign on top, and then Mod Podge back over it, and that will seal our image onto the wood. Here's a close-up look after the Mod Podge has dried all the way. I let it sit for at least half an hour. The longer the better, really, because then you know that it's cured and it's nice and sealed on there. And now I'm going to take my sandpaper and I'm going to rough up the edges of the photo as well as the wood. So I want this bottom piece to match, so I'm going to do the same thing to the stand piece. And you can use sandpaper like this. This one's on foam. They make sanding blocks. You can also use an electric sander. Just be really gentle if you use an electric sander because you don't want to take too much off and destroy this. So just barely go around the edges and lightly sand. So here's a look at the sign sanded down, and you can see now the edges, the paper is not sealed in anymore because we sanded off that Mod Podge. So I'm going to take the opportunity to take my burnt umber and my black again and sort of stain the edges to sort of give a better transition between the wood and the sign, so it all kind of like flows and blends together. And then I will reseal it again with the Mod Podge. And now this is pretty well dry. I'm just going to use my hot glue gun and attach this onto the base so that it will sit up and look pretty for a tabletop display. Another great idea would be to add a hook to the front of this to create a stocking holder. You could also personalize this by adding a photo to the front and creating something that matches your home or makes a great gift. I really want to take a second to thank everyone who has joined me for this series and that has been sharing their own projects and recreated DIYs with me over on Facebook and on Instagram. I have loved seeing everybody's versions of these projects. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up for me. You can also share with your friends and family, invite them over to join us on this series. Hit that subscribe button too if you aren't already, and turn that bell on so that you get notified when my videos go live. I want to thank you all so much again. Happy holidays.